Welcome to the podcast Woman Breaking Boundaries. For the people to hear is for the first time, my name is Alexandra Sierra and I'm here with Fina Kurman. In this podcast, we bring stories and conversation with inspiring women, like we have today a special guest. She's Ota Dietrich, which she will share stories about her obstacles, embrace new perspectives, especially in the industry. So, hello, Fina. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Tell me us about a little bit Uta. Who is Uta? Or
Uda is a personal friend of mine.
Mhm.
We met in Breda for the first time via a common friend who lives in London.
Mm.
And although I have a personal connection with that friend, and Uta also does, we met through the International Women's Club of Breda, and then found out we had that one friend who lives in London in common, which was hilarious.
Mm.
And like in general, whenever I have to introduce Uta to people, I get very confused. Like, where do I start? She's like the example of a person who's crossed so many boundaries. I don't know where to begin. So Uta is originally German,
Mm.
but in the meantime, over the last few decades, I think she's collected a few other identities, and I'll let her tell you more about it. Hello, Uta.
Hi, Fina.
Hello.
Hi, Alexandra. Thank you that I can be here today and share my story. So you asked me to give the pitch of who I am, and that's never that easy. But maybe following on from what you said, maybe I can say I'm a global nomad. I'm a mother of two who are also now global nomads. And I'm a health professional, a global health professional, and have lived and worked in many countries. So to give you a quick overview, I was born in Germany, grew up there, went to university, went on exchange to the US, met the love of my life, and
Wow.
Very lucky
Yes.
one.
yeah. But the story didn't end there, so I
No?
went back to Germany, finished
Okay.
my degree,
Yeah.
went back to the US, but he's not American, he's English.
Mm.
And
As it would be.
as it would be, and then a story started where he got jobs in different countries and I followed.
Okay.
And while many say that's not really that empowered as a woman empowered, I saw differently because it was easier for him than for me. And it gave me a great opportunity to find exciting different jobs and reinvent my career. So from Germany to the US, from
Yes.
there a couple of years in Hong Kong, then 16 years in Australia, which is where I have my new home, where I got married, where I had my kids.
Awesome.
And after 16 years there, we decided to move back to Asia. And
Oh.
out of 2 years in Kuala Lumpur came 10 years. And COVID hit and we couldn't return to Australia. And an opportunity came up in Breda. And we said, yep, we're in Breda. So here I am in the Netherlands. And next stop again will be Australia.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
But which of these countries are your favorite? You have a favorite country?
I really like Australia.
Yeah.
But when you ask me where you feel is home, it's when I'm in Australia and people ask me, I say Germany's my home. When
Yeah.
I'm in Germany or outside, I say Australia is my home.
Okay.
So one is the lifestyle, the geography, everything I like about a country. And the other one is where my longest friends, my deepest friends and my family are. That's a balance.
Yeah.
And I wish I
Yeah.
could have them both together, but it doesn't work that way.
Well, thank God the world got small, but I think a lot of expats who've lived significant amount of
Yeah.
time outside of their original home country feel that way.
Mm.
That you, instead of having just one home, you have many.
Yes.
And in each particular home, you find like a part of your heart
Yeah.
that's there.
Then we can
for
call
ver-
home.
yeah,
Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
call home. So yeah, I think that's pretty
And if you live in a wonderful country and you have no friends and no social network, it's not home.
Not home. Yeah.
Exactly. I have a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You are very curious about Uta?
Yes, so we invited Uta to talk about what it means to be an empowered woman.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest questions that we've had when we first started this and started getting to know each other is, what is your biggest personal and professional challenge that you have faced as an international global nomad
Yeah,
person,
practically.
a woman
Yeah.
moving through different countries, but also different cultures from what you've said,
Mm.
right? You've lived in Hong Kong, you've lived in Germany, you've lived in
Australia.
you've lived in Asia, so many continents.
Actually, she was in Brazil. Yeah.
For a professional visit, yes.
For professional visit, but she went there.
Yeah. True global nomad, as we
But
say.
not Colombia, Alexandra.
Yeah, no, need
So
to
not-
go to Colombia.
not
yet.
the best
Not
country
yet.
of South
Not
America.
Yet. Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. I think with you, we have to say not yet. We don't know where the next
Yeah.
destination is going to be.
Yes.
So my biggest challenge, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. There have been many. I think I want to talk about when I moved to Hong Kong. And so here I am, fresh with a master's from a university in the US. And I thought, hey, I can do anything.
Yes.
I read unemployment was really low then. And I thought, well, I'll find a job really quickly.
Mm.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, because what I found, I had a master's in health education.
Yeah.
And education is communication.
Yes.
And in Hong Kong, that would have happened in Cantonese. And that is not a language you learn overnight.
Wow.
So then I thought, what can I do? And so I really try to be creative, not directly applying for jobs because I didn't even know where to go. I thought, how can I engage and create a network locally? So I joined the Hong Kong Businesswomen Association.
Yeah.
I found an NGO that tried to look at or prevent drug use in young people. So like an NGO. So I got engaged there and I went to work there so that I had something to get up for every day. And you meet people, and through people you hear about jobs, and then you learn. And then my husband had some connection to the Open Learning University at that point called the Open Learning Institute, the OLI. And so I thought, that sounds quite interesting. It's education, it's English.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. And so I had a meeting and with them and said, this is what my background is. And they said, hey, we are actually in the process of developing a post-registration Bachelor of Nursing. So this is for hospital-trained nurses getting their bachelor. We are looking for someone who can design this curriculum for us and help us. So you have to work with the hospitals, with the Nurses Association, and get a curriculum developed and approved and implemented. And I said, oh my God, I just have a master's. How can I possibly do that?
Yeah.
But I thought, no, any work's better than no work. And it was such an exciting job.
Yeah.
So I was one of the few women in the School of Science and Technology. And my job then was so I got the curriculum approved. And then the interesting job was I had to look internationally for open learning materials, buy them in, so it's contract negotiation, and then adapt the content for local learners.
Wow.
And that was really interesting. So, for example, maybe I'll leave it there.
Well, I think so. I have a question coming from that, right? Like, so you're basically describing a totally foreign culture that you didn't know. You
Yeah.
had a language barrier. you had this big degree that you thought was worth so much, but then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you were standing there and you didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I was a new graduate.
Right. And I think what I hear you say is like that you didn't. So what is it? Okay, maybe I should ask you, what did it feel like for you at that moment? So thinking about other women that are listening to this now, young women that may find themselves in very similar shoes after their degree. What did you feel, and how did you change for yourself? Like, okay, I'm going to get over this.
So this is now almost 40, over 30 years anyway,
Yes.
ago. And if people ask me what is the worst time in your life, it's those first 6 months in Hong Kong.
Wow.
I felt so disempowered. I felt like when you don't have a job and you don't have a social network, your day is just long hours. And once you have one appointment, you get nervous the night before and think, oh my God, am I going to make it? How do I need to prepare?
Yeah.
It's just, you get into this slump and you think, how am I ever going to get out of there?
Yeah.
And so then I just built on the resilience I learned from within my family, where I was very supported and I had lots of, maybe I can get into that later, but that resilience that I learned, that I can do it, I will make it, and I start with little baby steps. So if I can't find a job, what other connections can I make? And that is when I said, okay, then I looked, what is available. This is sort of before internet, I think.
Yeah.
Remember?
Different times.
It's just the first emails were coming up. This is early 1990s I'm talking. I found this, as I said, this business, Women's Business Association. So I thought, hey, let's look at other women that have been successful and maybe I can leverage their networks to find something. Then looking, how can I contribute? How can I, even if it's not paid, how can I work in an unpaid capacity? Then I became a volunteer in this, I can't remember what it's called, this youth drug NGO.
Yeah.
And all of this helped me build up my confidence to sort of climb out of this hole again step by step.
Yeah.
So when the job interview then came up, I felt confident enough to say, okay, I can do this. And my life changed as soon as I started work again. Yeah.
Wow, that's a powerful story.
Yeah, but also for the people to the first time hear about Hong Kong, then maybe in some movies, but here there are people who cannot travel. So tell us a little bit about how is Hong Kong. So what was a little bit of the contextualize of this kind of city, and what kind of mentality? There are more sexist in a way of thinking, or they are very liberal? Or tell us a little bit about the culture so we can have a bigger picture of where you was there.
I went there in the early 90s, as I said.
Yeah.
At that point, it was still a British colony. The last years being a British colony, it was a big city of 6 million people that was divided in the island of Hong Kong and then the mainland bit that went up to the Chinese border.
Okay.
And my husband had a job at a university there, and with the university, you got housing, staff housing.
Okay.
And this housing was in what's called the New Territories, the piece of land closest to the then Chinese border. So that was very rural. So for me, what's rural? I could see greenery, but I could also see towers after towers of 20, 30-story apartment buildings.
Yeah.
And light industry as well. So going from there to work meant I took a little minibus to the station and then a train to work in an area called Mong Kok, which was the most densely populated area in the world.
Ah, okay.
And so when I go, I can only go this minibus.
Yeah.
When I come home, I can only go by the number because all the writing is Chinese.
Ah, yeah.
When I get a taxi in that area, it's I have to talk to the taxi driver in Cantonese. So they're my only words from back then was right, left, straight ahead, and stop.
And some numbers,
And
maybe.
thank you. No, not the
No
numbers.
numbers.
The numbers I can see. The
Oh,
bus.
God.
So that
yeah.
was a challenge.
Wow.
And then on the on the train during rush hour, I feel I got really sharp elbows just pushing people out of the way because it was so tight being packed into the train.
Oh.
But the train was came like when one left, you already saw the next one coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like every 2 minutes or so the train came. So it was a very, very efficient public transport system.
Okay.
And the disadvantage or discrimination, not really. As an expat, I didn't experience that very much. And I worked in an education environment that had members from a number of nations there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the question. What is the moment you almost get up, or you say but you choose not when you was there, or I don't know, in other part of the world? You say, I was like, I want to continue to live in abroad and be a nomad, and it's very hard. Oh my God.
I come back to what I said, what makes a home a home.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got married in Australia, and then we bought a place to live, and I had my kids.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
do you have okay?
Yeah. So I have two daughters. One's 25 and one's 23 now. So when the eldest was born, like when you have children, I really wanted my mother there. I couldn't have her because she had passed away quite a number of years, a few years earlier. But also none of my sisters were there. None of my aunts were there. So who do you go? It's your first pregnancy. Where do you go for support? Yeah. A child is born. How do you deal with all of this? And then later going back to work, after 6 months I went back to work. I'm so exhausted. Why is there no grandparents that come and take the kid off me so I can have a sleep? And that was when I really thought, I wish I was back in Germany.
Yeah.
And the way I overcame that is by creating a local support network for myself. So there were two women. One I met in the birth preparation class. Okay. So she had a child same age as mine. Actually, one woman was a colleague who also had a child more or less a little bit younger. Mm-hmm. And another one was also had a multicultural background.
Okay.
So we were supporting each other. So one would come and get my daughter so I could have a sleep. Or later back at work, I would call and say, hey, I have to go on a work trip. Can my kids stay with you? And in fact, the other thing I did is I got au pairs from Germany. Okay. So my kids would learn German. That was very important to me. Yeah. And they would also be there to support. So that network where we would help each other. None of us had a family in the town or anywhere nearby. One of them was also from the UK, so all of her family was there. So it's that peer support that we gave our elected family in a way.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, you do describe it like, it as a woman going through pregnancy and getting ready for a child in the past, in ancient times, and also like in the not so distant past, there used to be women's circles that took care of that. And in the new world, that woman circle doesn't necessarily always exist anymore. Some women are very lucky to have that already in place when you're living locally. You have your mother, your grandmother, your sister, who are all there with their own experiences. They can share it. They can guide you through it with their own knowledge. But when you lack that, oh my God, that sounds,
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be 20. Like I had 3, and that was fine.
Yeah, it's up
2 would have been fine. 1 is better than nothing.
One is better than nothing.
This is amazing tip for the young women to travel, also the normal, I don't know, more
Yeah.
mature women, you are need to be open, and sometimes your friends becoming a your new family. Yeah, when you
Yes,
are
your
in
family
another,
of choice.
the family of choice is a
Yeah.
beautiful concept, and you need to be open of that, because I have also, when I was living in the Netherlands, I was
Yeah.
very into my life, my house, and in one moment I say, I need to have a friends.
Hmm.
So you can go out and looking for a new friends, go to some events to try to find them. I found this beautiful woman in that way, because I say I need my family of choice now. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
it's,
can I just add, it's a two-way street. So don't, like, if you just feel, oh, I don't have anybody, people have
yeah.
to come and help me.
It doesn't
That's
work.
not the. It doesn't work. It's not sustainable. You take, but you also give.
But did you think it is like sometimes we come in with a mindset of victim, like when
Of what?
we are like
So basically, when you're in this mindset of
of
like feeling
survival
sorry for yourself,
and sorry for
where you're
yourself.
like, oh well, I'm going through all of this, and
Yeah, I think
I feel sad for myself.
yeah,
Uh, I think if I may,
Mhm.
I think that we all go through that, and it's
Yeah.
okay to feel
yeah,
that way. I mean, personally, I really feel like allowing that emotion to wash over you tells you something. It
yeah,
tells you I'm going through something that I'm not really enjoying. It's not comfortable for me right now.
yeah,
And I think what I hear Uta say over and over again is, like, I think if I'm, I
Yeah.
think so. You're saying I felt it, I saw it, and then I thought, okay, let me do something about it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not straight away. It's not like I feel like it now. I'm going to go do something. Sometimes it takes days or something. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
my coping mechanism.
yeah.
I'm a bit embarrassed to say, but it's I read a good love story.
Wow.
Someone where I can feel, and then I feel, oh, okay, now now
What?
I got the power again to do something.
tell me more about this.
No, I don't want to tell more about that.
I have. I
Oh,
have
good
to-
Netflix
I will
series
follow-
does
I
the
will-
same.
I will follow your vulnerable comment, and I will say I have been known to put on a Hallmark movie now and again.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah, it can
Just
be
to feel-
reading or that. Yeah.
simple, good,
Really?
feel good movie. Yeah, awesome.
Okay. Yeah, because for me, yes, I really love it. For instance, very romantic movies, but sometimes you say, yeah, but I don't get it. So you are a little bit frustrated too. But you was very lucky you have it, so you can see continue
Yeah.
romanticize. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that really ties in well with the next question. And
Yeah.
the next question that we wanted to ask you is, to if you could tell us a story where you really felt like you were breaking boundaries away from a traditional mindset that you either had within yourself or that society laid upon you. What is it like? Is there a significant moment for you? I mean, already, like, all of you, the stories that you've
Yeah.
told us so far reflect that. But is there something that stands out even more?
Um, mm, for me, I would like to come back to the foundation.
Yeah.
And in my family, my father was absent a lot. Like he worked 6 days a week. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
And he would always, I have two sisters, and he always said to us, I'm not there to help your mother, the typical male role.
Yes.
So I show you how to use the drill. So if something needs to be drilled in the home, here's how you use the drill. Or we would earn little pocket money by mowing the lawn. But then he would take the spark plug out and say, why is this not, like, I didn't know what he did. But he would say, okay, it's not working. What is not working? Go solve the problem. And then you have to find why the spark plug is not working. Or every spring and autumn, it was our job to change the winter and summer tires. So when things happen at home, my mother could ask any of us, I was the eldest, can you fix it? And we could. And that really gave us the term I would use is self-efficacy, the ability to believe in ourselves that we can do it. And so after I finished high school, my dad, who was self-employed and had a trucking business, a one-man trucking business, he was almost had to give up his business. There wasn't enough work because he only had a license for 50 kilometers around the house. And to get a long-distance license, he had to take a certification by the Chamber of Commerce. And he said to me, Ota, you just come out of high school. You've just done your high school exam. You're all in learning. I only have 8 years of schooling during the war and everything. You have to do this test for me. So I then went to a 2-week test, learned to get what I had to do about HR and calculating occupational safety, calculating freight and all of this, and then take a test at the Chamber of Commerce. There were only 2 other women, and I passed first time, and I have now this long-distance trucking license. And with that, I became employed by my father's business, and he could continue his business until he retired.
Wow.
And so all of this is going outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like that was not something I ever aspired to as a career, but you go and you do. And to believe in yourself that you can do it, and maybe if I'd failed, I would have taken the test again because it meant the survival of my father's business.
Yeah.
And so moving then to different countries, that confidence and that strong foundation helped me whenever there was a challenge. I said, I can do it. And if I can't do it, I'm able to handle the consequences and deal with that.
So to me, it sounds like from the inside out, you kind of had you have this thing where you go, okay, I'll do it and I'll try because there's like a bigger goal and there's a bigger purpose that I need to work towards.
Yeah.
So there's that drive from the inside, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious listening to this is like, how did the people in your community, like other women, other men in your community react to this? Were there any, was it mostly
Judgment,
positive?
or
Yeah,
maybe
was it
positive or
positive?
negative, or was
Were there any barriers there where people kind of went, or was it were you in an environment that was conducive to that, where it was just natural for you to?
I think there are 2 sides to it. On the one side is because I feel I have this strong foundation within me, I can, wherever I go, I feel I can be authentic. And that is very important to me, that I can be me. I don't have to play a role.
Yeah.
And being authentic then also means that you build trust.
Yeah.
And trust has always been a really strong component with friends, but also in the workplace. That my employers, my bosses always could trust me because I could always be honest with them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for some people that is very intimidating and scary.
Yeah.
And I'm not, even though I chat away like nothing here at the moment, I'm generally quite a quiet person.
Yeah.
And what someone had told me is this combination of being quiet and listen and only say when you have things to say, and this confidence sometimes comes across as very arrogant.
Yeah.
So people said, we think you are better than us. You're arrogant. You just, and that was the biggest surprise to myself because I feel that's the least thing I am. I'm always there trying to help other people and try to support everybody and
Yeah, there are also their own fears. Like
Yeah.
They cannot do it, or they don't want to do it. It's more, and then compare to her, and then say, yeah, you.
I don't know. I think like it's really I think it's really brave for people to eventually say like, "Hey, you look scary to us," because
Intimidate.
like that's like that
Intimidate.
requires a lot of courage, right? To
Yeah.
go up to somebody and go, "Hey, I would love to just see you differently, but I see you as a scary person," and so it's brave from the people that realize it and express it. But it's also like really brave to sit there and have to listen to it because like you're just like you said, you have the best of intentions. It's
Yes.
not your intention
Yeah.
to
But I
be.
have a very spontaneous question with
Yes.
this wisdom woman is coming with the finance because there are something we do it like drive a car, like truck, do things like the man
Yeah.
do it in general. But one thing coming about the money,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know how you learning for all these years to management to always have, I don't know, because it's part of the empowerment, no? To
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know in your perspective how you dealing with that. What is your mentality of that? Because many women really are scared, and maybe the husband don't love her because she have earned more than him, or then I don't know. But tell us a little bit about this because I really was curious. What is
Mm.
your mindset about that?
I think I learned good money management again from when I was a kid
Okay.
and then being involved in my father's business and all of that. And the one thing I always got from my parents who grew up during the war and were actually refugees during World War II,
Okay.
that they said they can take everything from you, but what they can't take is your education.
Yeah.
And so for me, having a solid education foundation that would help me get a good job, like if I was really stuck, I would do any job. I'm
Yeah.
not too good for anything. I will do to have money to survive.
Yeah.
But I have the education to go and look for well-paying jobs.
Yeah.
But having a good job is only one side of the story.
Yeah.
It's the income side.
Yeah.
But it's always to also manage your expenses,
Okay.
to do budgets, to always save a little bit on the side. And for me, that it was, I think, is one key pillar of actually my successful marriage is that we have very similar views on saving and finances, and it's more important to have to pay something into your pension than drive a fancy car.
Okay.
So some of those things, so similar views, or you don't have to have the things for show. Like I don't need fast fashion now is out of fashion anyway, so to speak. But buying some good quality items and wearing them for a long time, that's that sort of thing. But the other one is also being in our relationship, and the same with my parents, was equal partner with our finances.
Okay.
So we always had either shared account or I had also my own money. We could, I know in many families that the husband manages the insurances, the investments, the finances. That was not the case in ours. We always did both. And we go with our strength. I'm more the person that deals with the day-to-day, and the more strategic we discuss together. But it's a joint decision-making, and everybody has the same
View.
And we always worked on, now this is getting a bit too far, but that we looked out for pension, where a lot of inequity comes in is women take time off work to have children.
Yes. Yeah.
They sometimes, and because of that, their career progression is less,
Yes.
which means even though they may have started off with the same pay, the husband rises quicker. And in our, what we have done is that we have made sure that we have the same amount pension money available.
Okay.
It's getting too far to explain this here, but
it's really interesting because even today, right? Like the data
Yeah.
shows that there is this inequity even here in the Netherlands.
yeah,
Because traditionally, most of women actually take time off work for their children and work less hours, like you're saying, and build less pension.
yeah.
Okay. Yes. So,
Yeah.
but you can change that.
So
You can have private extra insurance, different countries. So
Yeah.
my pension
so smart.
is mostly in Australia. So there are different ways how that's all managed. And that is what you have to learn moving around is you don't have to know one system. You have to have to know multiple systems and how they interact with each other. But that goes a bit too far here. But just this gap, I think for women it is extremely important that whether they separate or whether when the husband dies or whatever, that they are if you look at poverty and old age, women are leading. It's not something you want to lead in as a woman, is poverty and old age. So you have to prepare for that.
Yeah, and I think really like this is I love this discussion because I think a lot of women are so overwhelmed with their with their daily tasks. People kind of like don't like either don't know how to think about it, don't know where the resources are to think about it. And I love that you bring this up because it actually says, hey, it is something that you can think about. It is something that you can talk about with your partner. It is something you can research, and it is a problem that you can solve. So that when and if you get to the point where you're retiring, you're not the one person, if you've made the sacrifice for the family or for the children, that you're not paying the full price of it at the end. Yes.
And you make a very good point, and that is that I feel quite privileged in never having really struggled along the poverty line, where my number one concern is how do I feed my family today?
Yeah.
And not having had that gives you the mental space to actually think longer term.
Yeah. But I mean,
I can say there is there are resources out there, and there is help out there for to do. The term is financial literacy, to really understand and even with saving making a commitment, I buy one less coffee every week, and that's €4 or €5 are put away.
Yeah.
How little things like that can build up.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, no, great. Thank you. That's amazing insight. I don't think like we could have predicted that this would come out of this conversation.
Yeah,
but
we
I
had
love
a little
that it
chat that we
does.
definitely didn't talk about that.
And we're
amazing.
learning also for what the people are single. One of the questions you need to ask, and she really teach us today is if this partner where you are looking for have the same way of view about money.
Yeah.
It really matters, and sometimes we think it's just love and fall in love, but fall in love also have some responsibility. So I think this wisdom give us also to thinking about that, because more than we fall in love, also we want to have another successful marriage stories in the future.
That's awesome.
And for finish this session, please tell us a little bit what you think is your concept about what is empowering woman. What is your concept, your own concept about that? How you can call?
So we met, and one of the first things that we were talking about women empowerment, and then at some point we both kind of went like, okay, what does it mean to you? Because and then we kind of like shared stories of what we thought empowerment was, and we discovered that every one of us has a different story and a different angle. And we're really curious. Like I'm really curious. Like what is for you?
Yeah.
What does it mean to be an empowered woman?
Yeah.
To believe in myself.
Okay.
To believe in myself that I can that I can do things. Believe in myself that I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, and I can deal with outfalls of when things go pear-shaped, like they don't work out.
Because that will happen anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so empowerment for me is that's believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you build that believing is really sort of, for me, internally. What do you get from your family? What experiences do you have that build this self-confidence and believing in yourself? But also, how is the environment around you enabling that?
Yeah.
So are there policies in place for, like, for example, when I had my first child in Australia, I could take time off to go and breastfeed my child. So I went to the childcare center, breastfeed the child, and went back to work.
Yeah.
So things like policies, but also language for me.
Yeah.
It's being able to communicate. Living in countries where like the Hong Kong example, for example, when you cannot communicate, it really takes your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that this voice being not given or taken away. So not given is if you have sort of an environment where people put women down,
Yeah.
but taken away is because in this case, I did it to myself by moving to that place.
Yes.
But I didn't realize beforehand the effect, not having a voice, how that would pull me down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's from the inside and then the enabling outside together. That's really what empowers you.
Yeah. So basically, what I hear you say, and I'm going to repeat this because I think it's really important for people to maybe feel the message that you're actually giving is having your own voice, believing in it.
Mm.
And then when and if you don't have that voice or you lose it,
Yeah.
having an environment around you that can enable you to actually have that voice.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing.
And that's what I'm trying to do in my work.
Okay.
So my background's health, but having this voice gives you health.
Yes.
Having a sense of control, there is scientific evidence that the sense of control that someone feels they have over their life has an impact on their health.
Okay.
Yeah. And talking about health, we can have the last two questions or one question.
Yeah, no, so I think maybe we have a few minutes, but do you want to talk about a bit about the work that you've done in terms of urban design and health and well-being? So basically inside and outside environments and how they influence people in general. So not only women, but we as people are vulnerable to our own internal and external environments.
I just give one example from Kuala Lumpur,
Yeah.
where I worked in social housing. So the idea here was, so I come from a health perspective,
Yeah.
but my colleagues are mainly architects and urban designers. So what we find, public housing, social housing in Malaysia is quite successful, but putting people in high-rise blocks destroys the social fabric. You don't know your neighbor anymore, and that really has an impact on the community and their health.
Yeah.
And they also don't have a lot of voice in terms of co-managing their place, of having an influence how the public spaces are designed, for example. So one of the initiatives was a project called Active Bersama. So that means active together. So and then we did this during COVID. So COVID made everything worse. So the idea here is that we train local women that live in these housing blocks to become walk leaders. So we then assessed with my urban design and colleagues a safe walking path, because that's not always given that there are sidewalks and that. The women were trained as walk leaders, and the idea is that women would walk together. So that's for the walking. Physical activity is good for mental health.
Yeah.
It's good for their physical health,
Mm-hmm.
but also the social aspect.
Okay.
Getting to know each other again, talking while you're walking. And so we had outcomes that the kids that walked along, that one ethnic minority would, that the different ethnic groups were quite separated. And now the kids would greet the mothers of the other groups. So that was an amazing outcome.
Wow.
We had a singing competition. So this is where women could, women and men, anybody, could record songs, and we got celebrity singers that come from these social housing estates to support and mentor and review the songs. So we would show role models.
Okay.
If they can do it, if they can
Ah,
escape,
okay.
maybe we can do too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people could, again, connect via music with each other. We would have a little grant scheme. So people could, with the building management together, they could identify the lift lobbies. So they identified and upgraded social spaces within their building and made them beautiful, and people could meet now rather than go outside. So that's just little examples.
But you're working here in the Netherlands.
I work here in the Netherlands.
Where do you work?
I work at Avans, and there I work in global engagement. Given that I've lived in so many different countries, and I'm trying to support the faculty in making international connections, but I also support early career researchers. And that brings me to something else. Given sort of I'm in the latter half of my career,
Okay.
I have a real urge to support and help and advocate for these issues. I have a number of mentees in different countries, women that I support, and that really gives me strength and joy.
Okay, super. So we have a small activity. Please complete this sentence.
Oh, okay. All right. So you get an exam question now.
Okay.
All right. So say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
A healthy, empowered woman is someone who
Believes in herself.
Awesome.
I've said it before, but someone who believes in herself.
Yes,
great.
amazing.
Thank you.
I think we can talk with you for hours.
Yeah, me too. This is like, there's so much more wisdom there that I want to I have more and more and more questions. So maybe you need to come back again.
Yeah, wow, it's amazing. And if the people want to contact you, how they can reach you out? Like a LinkedIn, like an Instagram?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very easy to find on LinkedIn.
Okay, so
I do have an Instagram account, but I'm really not using it.
Okay, so for the people who want to contact her, we will have her LinkedIn in our video, so you can see there how they can contact her. And it was an honor that you have last words for this episode.
Yeah, I do. I just have the one thing that I want to ask Ota, because it's like I was talking with her a little bit earlier, and she shared something really powerful that I think our listeners would love to hear.
Yeah.
And it's along the same thing of like, what do you do when you feel down?
Yeah.
What is it that brings you back up, where you can feel like, okay, we heard so many stories about how we can all, even being empowered women, we can all feel down, but we all deal with it differently. And I think Ota shared with me, and I would really like for people to hear it. Like, so how do you, when you feel not so empowered, we all have that, what do you do to reach out to that empowerment feeling again?
There are two things I'd like to mention. One is that when I really feel down, I like to go for a walk in a forest. That for me, this nature connection is really important.
Yeah.
But from a preventative point of view, is that wherever I move, even before I go there, I look, just like I explained for Hong Kong, I look, where can I connect locally? And so that is built. So here, you said we met at the International Women's Club Breda.
Yes.
I teach English for the Ukrainian refugees. That's what I'm doing here. In every country I had my groups. And I'd like to, can I just talk about the ABC framework?
Yeah, because so I really like that because it's something that's scientifically backed.
Yeah.
And we're all women of science here. So it really inspires me to hear this. Do please explain what the ABC is.
So in Western Australia, about 20 years ago, they started a project called ABC, the ABC of mental well-being. And so they did research on it, they implemented it, they evaluated it, and the framework goes like this: A for act, B for belong, C for commit. So if you really feel down and you don't feel you don't have any strength, you can act. Act is go for a walk. Like I said, go for a walk in the forest, be active. A for active.
A for active.
Okay. Active, like physical activity is good for physical and mental health.
Yeah. Okay.
So at least you get
active.
Active. B, belong. Belong. How do you build belonging? So you join a sports club. You join a book club. You are in a walking club.
Yeah.
You are in the resident association. Whatever. You belong to something. You feel a sense of belonging.
Okay.
If you're really down, that's already a bit harder to reach.
Yeah.
And the highest level of mental well-being is when you can commit. And commit is when you take a leadership role.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I give the International Women's Club again, Fina is the president, I'm the social welfare officer. So we're not just a member.
We're
we are guiding and leading.
And you feel better with yourself also because in some way you feel like and contribute.
Yes, because you're not just running along. The sense of belonging is already making you feel positive. But when you give back, we all heard giving is better than taking, or I don't know how the word goes. But giving is the highest sense of mental well-being. That what really gives you a sense of achievement, of worth, feeling self-worth, is by giving to others.
Oh my goodness, it's very amazing. So ABC.
ABC.
A for action.
Act.
Sí, yes.
So it's act, belong, commit. But
Be, belong, and commit.
Yeah, act, belong, commit. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Look it up. Act, belong, commit.
Yes.
You can look it up. They have great materials.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it was an honor to have Ota in our podcast. We learned in this podcast how the woman who work in many industries like technology, artificial intelligence, for instance, in health, business sustainability, and leisure, and other topics. And we are inspired here from some stories of women already have before in the past, and also how the young woman also can learn for that, and also keeping going. Yeah.
Yes, great.
So we will have our next podcast after the summer.
After the summer.
We'll have a special guest, and it's a surprise again.
It's always a surprise. But
And always special guests.
Yes.
well, I feel like we've learned so much already.
Yeah. So please, if you have any comments, you want to also invite
to us.
or reach out us, please contact us with our social media. You have it here in the platform. I was very happy to have Ota today, and always happy have it here, Fina, again back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.